Hi, I'm Gracie Hill. This is Crash Course Sustainable Energy, and today we're going to learn about fossil fuels, natural gases, and everything else that is required for our growth as a society.
Gracie, what's sustainable energy? Why does it even matter?
Well, Katie, sustainable energy is frequently defined as the materials needed to meet the needs of present generations without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Currently, the means of production in basic life require unsustainable resources that are depleting at a rapid rate.
Sounds like there are limits to the extent on which we can draw on the Earth's resources. If these limits are exceeded, will we destroy the capacity of resource renewal?
Yes, but if governments and large corporations come together to set restrictions to limit the negative impact on the environment, we probably won't have to move to Mars in 30 years. Let's go to the thought bubble.
Currently, 7.5 billion people roam the world, all whose jobs and basic needs are filled by wood, coal, or natural resources. But these certain resources are non-renewable and sooner or later will become completely exhausted. Unlike anyone who tried to invade Russia in the winter, we know that access to warmth and resources is kind of important. We can trace this issue back to the Industrial Revolution. To fuel the factories and to sustain the output of each and every type of manufactured good, natural resources such as water, trees, soil, rocks and minerals, as well as wild domesticated animals, etc., were transformed, which reduced the planet's stock of natural valuable capital. And it is no coincidence that the new imperialism emerged around the same time in the 18th century. Industry and exponential growth could not be sustained by the motherland territory alone, so they looked to LDCs for exploitation. But the world is only so big. This can be seen in the form of deforestation and habitat destruction, which not only limits biodiversity, but prevents further production of extracted materials. By the start of the Second Industrial Revolution, the population had grown by 6.5 billion. This is just the foreshadowing of a serious issue, an exponentially increasing demand with a remotely set number of resources. These populated cities that emerged from the Industrial Revolution require not only energy for manufacturing, but for everyday life, such as transportation, as well as electricity.
Thanks, Thought Bubble. The Second Industrial Revolution allowed for the common working man to own a car. Fantastic, right? Wrong. It is estimated that by 2051, we will have used up all the oil. That's right, Mrs. Eulberg. You won't be able to drive your tank of a motor vehicle around the old folks' home in 30 years. By 2062, we'll have run out of gas. And by 2089, we'll have run out of coal. Without these necessary energy sources, it is imperative that we create new sources for energy and implement new lifestyles. These lifestyles can include something as simple as buying a car that runs on electricity that is produced through solar energy or wind turbines rather than gas. While some fossil fuels can be recycled and reused, this process will become extremely expensive and this cost will only continue to grow.
Some resources can be recycled, others can be recovered, yet many of our current uses of a substance would be priced out of the market if current sources and supplies are exhausted. Forbes.
Certain of the Earth's resources, such as oil and coal, are non-renewable and sooner or later will be completely exhausted. And now, let's head on over to the secret compartment. Oh my gosh, the secret compartment is a gas oven! I wonder if we'll have these in 30 years. Now, an open letter to all large corporations from across the globe. Dear large corporations, why can't you be more like Whole Foods or Kohl's? They've got this whole renewable energy thing down. These businesses generate more energy than they need and are able to reuse it. That, in turn, reduces the amount of energy they need to produce from non-renewable and greenhouse gas-producing sources like coal and natural gas. I'm talking to you, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and other large gas companies. You are using up our fossil fuels at an unnecessary rate. These companies have been using up our natural resources for decades without actually warning the public of how dangerous it is. Instead of being part of the problem, help to solve the problem. Large corporations, it is up to you to help save our energy sources. Best wishes, Gracie Hill.
Luckily, some advancements have already been made in regards to energy resources. For example, Sony Corporation of America is a major purchaser of green energy, utilizing 88 kilowatts annually.
This is enough to cover 37% of their total yearly usage, which, for a large corporation, is quite impressive. Now, what is green energy or renewable energy? It is often defined as energy sources that are found in sunlight, in the air, deep underground, and in our oceans. They are a part of the planet's physical structure, which means they are constantly being renewed by natural means. They simply cannot run out. As Dave Rubenstein, the president of Sony Corporations, once put it, the purchase of renewable energy credits is an important step in our company's effort to reduce its environmental impact. We are able to support Sony's environmental goals and also promote the use and growth of renewable energy in the U.S. Way to go, Sony. Way to set a good example. Yet, most notably, Intel takes the cake when it comes to tree hugging. They collect energy from a number of different sources such as wind, solar, hydro, and biomass. Intel even operates 18 on-site solar panels with a capacity of 7,000 kilowatts. But, in total, they use a whopping 3,102,050,000 kilowatts annually. To put that in perspective, that's enough to power roughly 300,000 American homes for 1 year. So what about us common folk? What can we do to conserve our energy resources? Maybe we can't afford to buy a solar plant or pitch a wind turbine in our backyard, but maybe just shut off the lights in an empty room or switch traditional 60-watt bulbs to LEDs. When it comes to fossil fuels, the ever-so-famed Prius, as well as other hybrid vehicles, offer the perfect alternative to purchasing gallons of gas. Ideally, these vehicles are charged using green energy, because otherwise that's pretty anti the point. Yet, maybe you don't feel so cool when you're caught whipping the foreign, but if you really want a ball, just buy a Tesla.
Now that we've explained everything about this problem, it is up to you to fix it. You might be thinking, I'm just one person. How can I make an impact? Well, everything helps. From buying a metal straw, or switching to hybrid cars, or even getting solar panels from your house, you can make a difference to help preserve the energy that makes this world go round.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.
Crash Course Sustainable Energy is directed by Miss Eulberg. Our script supervisors are Katie Chrisman and Gracie Hale, and Thought Bubble is animated by me, Katie Chrisman.